Hey, what's up guys? My name is Off and welcome to the Henry Cavill PC build. Or at least explaining it. So if you guys didn't know, Henry Cavill built a PC. Yes, Henry Cavill, the Superman himself. The Man of Steel, the one and only who can fly, shoot lasers through his eyes, breathe cold air, whatever the heck, he can freeze stuff with his air, with his mouth, and he's fast, and many other things. Yes, that Henry Cavill surprised everyone by building a PC on Instagram. I'm not kidding. And and also I got a second screen. Let me just, yeah, that's right. Second screen. So that's that. So I thought, I saw his videos, I thought was not bad. He did do a couple of oopsies at the beginning, but then and also at the end, but for the most part he did a really good job, especially in the cable management. Whew. But it hit me, what part did he go with? Like, what parts did he go with? And obviously most of the things were obvious, even though he tried to blur it out. But yeah, Henry, we could see the box. It's over there. There's a, you know, forget. And I get why they blur it. I mean, why he blurred it, you know, because it makes sense. You know, he doesn't want to be advertised. He's not advertising anything, so you know. But anyways, and I thought, you know what? Why not make a video explaining and talking and showing you guys every single parts they go with? Why not? So let's get the build. Well, I think this is my kit.com like build for at least what I think he went with. There was a couple of things here and there that was a bit confused. Mostly on the power supply. I knew what company it was, I just didn't know which one. So I just went with what I think it makes sense, or which one's the best. Hence the 90% sure about this whole thing title. But I'm pretty sure that it's that. So starting first with the CPU, I think the CPU he went with was, well, it obviously was on Ryzen 9. It didn't blur that. But I wasn't sure. No one actually was sure on which Ryzen 9 he went with. I mean, there was like 3 Ryzen 9s, which I think it's the Ryzen 9 3900X, the 3950X, and then the new one, which is the 3900 XT, which is pretty much a higher clock speed and with a couple of extra things version from the 3900X, which is a really good choice. Although I would still go with the 3950X if you want extra cores, but the 3900X is, well, 12 cores, which 12 cores, 12 threads. That's enough to do anything you want, even live streaming and gaming. The cooler he went with, it's obviously an NZXT. The only NZXT that I found that was pretty much the same, it's actually the same, is the NZXT Kraken Z73, which is a 360mm AIO. And it's RGB. He's going with the RGB, boys. The graphics card was also, even though he tried to blur it out, the title wasn't top of the box, and it was obviously an Asus graphics card. It was an Asus ROG Strix 2080 RTX 2080 Ti overclocked edition, which but with the Ryzen 9, that's actually a good combination. The RAM was a bit tricky because I wasn't sure how much he went with. I knew what RAM he went with, I just didn't know how much he went with. So I just went with a G-Skill Trident Z RGB 32 gig stick. And he also didn't know the speed too, but I went with a 3200 megahertz. Not the fastest, but also not the slowest. It's actually decent. But I went with dual stick 16 gigs, pretty much 32 gigs, which I think that's what he went with. Now for the SSD, he obviously went with the Samsung Pro version of the M.2 SSD. He went with full-on M.2 SSDs. I don't know if he went with a hard drive, although from his video he didn't mention any hard drive. If not, he was making fun of it, I think. Something, I don't know. So I think he didn't went with. So he went with the Samsung's 970 Pro M.2 SSDs, which I was surprised he didn't go with the the new version, the Gen 4 version. This one is a Gen 3X4. It's just I'm surprised he didn't go with a new one. But hey, it's not a bad choice. It's not really a bad choice. And he went with dual Samsung SSDs. So guess he's just going full on SSDs. Not sure how much he went with. I just went with dual 1TB SSDs, just guessing. Maybe he went with higher. Maybe. But I'm really not sure. Now for the motherboard was a bit tricky, but good thing there's some tricks here and there in the video that I was able to see. And one of them was the manual, which he left it there before he picked it up. And I was able to find the motherboard, the exact same motherboard, at least I think so. And he went with the Asus ROG Crosshairs V3 Hero. It's an X570 motherboard, which, yeah, hence the Gen 4 M.2 SSD. Why he didn't went with it, but hey, it's fine. So yeah, it's a great motherboard. Supports Gen 4 M.2 SSD and PCIe, and new PCIe for your graphics card, which makes things faster. And overall, it's a great motherboard. It supports so many things here, and overclockability too. Although AMD on any motherboard supports overclockability. I can't even speak. But this one has a better overclockability and better, just in general, in everything. Better sports, better chip, better, well, pretty much everything. So good choice. There's also others, but I see why Henry went with it. I think this one is a much good looking one. There's another one with what was it again? It was a Corsairs V7, but not Hero Edition. It was something else. But it's a bit weird. The top is a bit weird, so really good choice. Now the power supply was the tricky one. The power supply, I didn't really know how. Oh, cool! The website just wrote the 600, even though it said I found the 700. There's a 700 of this guy. I found the 700 watts power supply of this guy. So I went with a Seasonic Prime 700 Titanium, fanless, which is really great for quiet gaming environment. But I'm not sure if that's what he went with, so bear with me here. This is probably the only, well, mostly the only part that I have no idea what he went with. I know it's a Seasonic, so I'll write on that one. I just don't know which one. But I think, or at least in my opinion, this is a great power supply. Maybe he went with that, maybe not. Now for the case, the case was also a bit tricky, but I might have went to a video of someone talking about Henry Cavill, and I found it out, and it's also on the video too. Henry Cavill is not that great to blur things. He went with the Fractal Design Defiant 7, which is a really good case. It has plenty of room to, well, water cooling, more graphics card, pretty much everything, even an ATX motherboard. Yes, those big guys. So it's a really good case. It's a tempered glass version. I mean, he's going RGB, so why not? And yeah, it's a really cool looking case. So really good choice. A really good choice for Henry Cavill. And I think that's pretty much it. That's what I think he went with. At least that's what I think. Also, you guys should probably check my kit.co profile account. I post a lot of PC builds here. If you guys want to build something, check my thing out. How many people have viewed this? 27 views! Woohoo! Like I'm getting more views on this website than the other one. Just YouTube. So yeah, that's it for today's video. This is more of an information and informative video showing what I think I found, showing what I think it's Henry Cavill's PC. If you guys want to, for some random reason, build his PC for your own. First, that's a bit stockish, says the guy who was searching for. And second, it's weird. I don't think you should build the same exact thing. If not, in my opinion, from this build, like, for example, I would have went with the Ryzen 9 3950H X. I mean, for the for the 16 cores, since it's 16 cores, so that it gives you more 4 cores. The graphics card, I would keep it. Cooler, I would also keep it, but yeah, maybe something better. But it's actually cool. I think if I'm not overclocking too much, or not that, you know, not that much of overclockability at all, then it's fine. This RAM, if he's planning to play games, 16 is, well, 8 gigs is minimum, but for games and chat and stuff, 16 gigs. He went with 32. I think that's fine, and even for content creators, that's also fine. I would say 64, but at the same time, I don't think I would go with 64, so it doesn't really matter in this one. Storage, I mean, I'm a hard drive and SSD guy. I prefer both at the same time, so yeah. But there is a thing where he could add a hard drive at the future, so I think it's fine. And I think adding 2 M.2 SSDs is overkill, but it's great. I think I would go with that style as well. The motherboard is fine. I would go with it as well. The power supply is also fine. Although I would prefer something else, but the power supply is fine. And the case, it's amazing. It's great. But other than that's the rest is fine. The only thing I would just change is mostly the CPU and maybe the RAM, but I'm not sure. And add a hard drive. That's it. Still, Henry Cavill did a good job overall. Like, he's a muscular nerd, and that's coming from a skinny guy. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys learned how Henry Cavill's PC, like, at least by the insides, what's the parts inside, what he went with it. I hope you guys learned, and if you guys learned to build it, even though I don't know why, then you're welcome. I will link this in the description if you guys want to build it. Your choice. I might be linking a better version, who knows, but overall, hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked it. Give a like, subscribe for more content, share this video, share it with your friends, your family, your dog, your cat, your grandma, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Actually, don't share it to your grandma. She's old. Unless you want to. Anyways, bye.